Welcome to this press briefing. Allow me to take this opportunity, this being the first press briefing for the year 2017, to extend to all of you, your families, your staff, my best wishes for the year 2017. I also want to take the opportunity to extend best wishes to the entire population of St. Martin. A very blessed, prosperous, happy, and healthy 2017 is wished to all. 2017 is, in my opinion, going to be a year that we will be facing challenges, no doubt, but also a year of opportunities. And it behooves all of us to look for and seize those opportunities. What I believe is critical in looking for and seizing these opportunities, I will address further down during this press briefing. But again, a very happy new year, a prosperous 2017 is wished to all. Here I am again, also in the role of Chairperson of Parliament once again. A brief reflection in order to appreciate, in my case, where we stand today, of course, would go back to the elections of September 26th. The results of that election are for the historic annals, and the new parliament taking office or having taken office on October the 31st. Without going into any details regarding, because I don't have those details, by the way, regarding what transpired before the Democratic Party affixed its signature to a coalition agreement, the fact is that that happened. The three parties, the USP, the NA, and the DP, on November the 16th, signed an agreement to work together, support a government, and develop a governing program. As a consequence thereof, I was appointed Chairperson of Parliament on November the 24th, and after some delay in terms of government taking office, the new government members, nearly all 7, with the exception of 1, were sworn in on December the 20th. During that period of time, and the dates that I just mentioned, most of the focus centered from a government's perspective on, of course, the budget 2017, the handling thereof, the debate, the documentation, I mean, you name it. And from a political perspective, a lot of attention was paid on drafting a governing program, a red, white, and blue governing program. Today, we have both. You have been hearing bits and pieces, snippets of some of the items in the governing program from the ministers during their press briefings, and I hope that it will not be too long before the program officially is made public and is debated in Parliament. Naturally, we have the budget. The budget has been approved, and at least that created a solid start for the government for the year 2017. I acknowledge that as far as the capital budget for 2017 is concerned, that the CFT has expressed some reservations with that, and I guess just like it has been in years gone by, you will have a situation where the government and the CFT would have to dialogue about the need for, first of all, the amount that the government is seeking, and then the government needs to be very clear in terms of what projects, the feasibility of these projects that we are seeking financing for. And within the realm of all of that, we of the DP now, I want to emphasize, will continue to focus on promoting transparency, integrity, openness. We started with this trajectory in Parliament by first of all, suggesting and having Parliament approve an integrity committee. In that committee, we have started a debate about a code of conduct for Parliament. It is, I don't want to use the word frustrating, but let me put it this way. Parliament definitely runs and operates slower than what I was accustomed to as a prime minister in government. And even after more than 2 years, leaving government and coming to Parliament, I think I still need to get accustomed to that routine. But that being what it is, we continue, and I say this looking at how long it has taken and the debates and regarding, for example, a code of conduct. But being the optimist that I am, I will continue, we will continue. I mentioned the integrity reports, those integrity reports that were the 3 that we had, in which not only integrity issues generally were mentioned, but also of government and of Parliament. And like I've said so often before, I believe it behooves Parliament to look at those matters in the 3 integrity reports that regard Parliament and devise a plan as to how to deal with these matters. I also think that it would be a good thing. It's something new, and it's not going to happen overnight, but to look at the possibility for Parliament to institute what is called citizens' initiatives. Mind you, this sounds easier than it actually would ever be in practice. However, within certain guidelines and according to certain standards, that groups in the community can submit an initiative to Parliament, because I believe it is crucial going forward also to raise the level of confidence that the participation of the populace in decisions, in proposing ideas. I think we need to stimulate that process. And one way of stimulating that is to create a possibility for so-called citizens' initiatives. So this is something that I believe that that I would be looking at from the Parliament's perspective. And then, as I mentioned before, a review of legislation. Upon taking up the office again of Chairperson of Parliament, I have asked that again we pay attention to those matters and make a call to the chairpersons of the different committees, which appointment will take place shortly, I hope, but to make a call to the chairpersons of the committees of Parliament, give them a list of the outstanding matters for these committees, and impress upon them the need to do the work that has been put with the committees of Parliament. If you take, for example, financial reports that Parliament receive, these matters first go to the Financial Committee of Parliament. And so you have all of the different areas. The committees of Parliament are a sort of a first step as far as matters come into either Central Committee or public meetings of Parliament. So if the committees are not up to par, there you will see a slowing down of the work of Parliament as well. So I have asked, and that committees, the minute we have the chairpersons and vice chairpersons of committees appointed, that these be given an overview of the outstanding matters of these committees, and ask and impress upon them the need to deal with the committees of Parliament and have these committees working effectively. So those are so that's where a review of the legislation comes into play. We also, again with the cap of the Democratic Party on, will continue to stress the social development of this country. We believe it's an important component of when we talk about the overall development. It cannot be left behind. It needs to go hand in hand with economic development, etc. And talking about economic development, again, we stress, and you'll see that coming back in the governing accord, or the governing program rather, the economy and jobs will have our attention, the environment, and the big issue of the last few months of 2016, taxes. tax issue, tax system, tax organization, etc. I believe, however, that looking at it from an overall perspective and also from government in particular, that the challenge is going to be in getting all noses pointed in the same direction. A plan for St. Martin going forward, I've stated this over and over again, and a plan to which we all, or most of us, can ascribe. You don't have to agree with everything that is in it, but at least a vision. This is where we would like to go. This is where we would like to take St. Martin's. I think that's going to be our challenge. Hence my constant referral to the National Development Plan for St. Martin, because I think that's what the people of St. Martin need at this moment. Yes, a governing program, this is what the government is setting out to do. These are the action points of the government, but an overall vision for St. Martin, I think, is crucial. Again, the level of confidence can be raised by having such a document. Of course, any such document will never be written in stone, but you need at least some basis, some foundation for which you're working.
Life is a journey full of connections. You're in safe hands even when life starts too soon. You don't have to miss a single beat. When a bad hair day makes you sad, just sharing can bring you joy and more to come. They take the plunge, turn fear into faith, while you capture those beautiful moments. In the game of life, it's family that counts. They'll be there even when you lose. We all have our moments of reflection and hope. And when you feel you're losing everything in life, we're there because there's more to come. When life starts too soon, you don't have to miss a single beat. We're here to connect you and share life. Telcel, when you want more.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
Need a loan that's quick and easy. Island Finance. Up to 50,000 guineas really easy. Island Finance. For education, yes. A renovation, that's no problem. Yes, it's true. That's not all. They're quick and friendly too. Island Finance. Appliances, vacations, even fix your car. You can depend on Island Finance.
Different than last time. Last time we did go through a public search process to fill any empty vacancies, but we've had an interesting time in the past year within government that I've had an opportunity to meet and interact with people, and I would say basically always with an eye open to, you know, who's doing a great job within government, and so we've done a bit of, or I've been doing headhunting throughout the year. So we're actually taking 2 new people as a new legal advisor. So the 2 people that are not returning, because of the transition in government, and it looked like at first we weren't coming back, they've secured other positions elsewhere, which is, again, good for them, good luck for their futures. So it left us with 2 vacancies to be filled. One is an executive assistant and one is a legal advisor. So the legal advisor that I've selected is from Legal Affairs, Alexandra Cizo. She has a lot of experience working in administrative law with government, And actually, I worked with her very much when it came to working on the issues with the adult entertainers and how we went through all of that transition. And that process took many months. It was between first TIAT and Justice, and eventually came back to VSA to propose an interim, I suspect somewhat mid to long-term solution. And I found that her approach was extremely pragmatic, very practical. And I think that when it comes to hiring legal advice, to find lawyers that are solution-oriented is really a great value for the cabinet. And the other is a young gentleman, Marvio Cooks. He's my executive assistant. He's a young professional with a bachelor's in computer science and a heavy background in ICT. He worked at the Ministry of Education. Thank you, Minister Jacobs. But in my time that I've spent talking to him and working with him in the past, I found him to be an extremely dynamic person, a person with really great vision. And every time I brought up a new idea or something that I thought was innovative, he always came back with an answer, well, that's something that I've thought about or researched or I've seen YouTube videos on. And so I really felt that that was a good bond, a good connection, and I think he's an excellent addition to the team. So we've put a cabinet together that I'm very proud of. I think the synergies are good, the educational backgrounds are complementary, the experience is great. So I'm very proud of the team that we've put together. As a matter of fact, we've already begun with some preparatory work. It is interesting. When I came in as minister previously, if you remember, originally we weren't even sure. I think it was maybe 3 months or a 4-month term. So, and then that was extended obviously to a 1-year term. So the perspective going in was a very different perspective. It was one of, let's focus on the bigger issues. There's certainly a lot of smaller issues that, cumulatively, of course, have a big impact in the community. But there's no point, trying to tackle everything with such a limited time frame and with an election overlapping that to boot. So, but this time, we're looking at this as a stable government. We're looking at a 4-year term, which changes our perspective. It means that we're going into things with a different perspective, really trying to get into root causes and details and things that we haven't had an opportunity in the past to really focus on. So again, this whole process has been a very interesting process because, as you know, we were preparing our transition document for an incoming minister, and that same transition document that we were preparing before now becomes the basis for our actions going forward. So I think we are going to have department head meetings starting tomorrow already, or starting today actually, and again, by department going through personnel issues, financial issues, but also policy issues, all types of strategic points, but again with a longer term perspective. So these are interesting and exciting times. In the absence of telephones within our office, the Secretariat's been kind enough to provide us with a cellular number by which people can reach the minister's office. And for the record, that is 520-2767. So that will be a designated cell phone for contacting the office of the minister for now. The other point I'd like to talk about is the national health insurance. As you know, based on previous discussions, a draft legislation was prepared. Clearly, the legislation needs more work, and it needs more time for discussion with stakeholders. There's a number of serious misconceptions within the community, and so I think rushing the process would only be detrimental to the ultimate end goal of providing health insurance to everybody in St. Martin. And to that end, actually, we went to, as you know, we attended a conference on healthcare financing in Bonaire. This was just after the elections. And in that was a very interesting conference where they brought best and worst practices from all of the Caribbean islands. And it was very interesting to hear what other countries have done, what their successes have been, and what their failures and what their issues are going forward.
Oh my, what an inventory list, and so unnecessary. But wait, your home contents are all insured by Be Sure. That means that you determine the amount you want to insure. No inventory list, no hassle.
Are you be sure? Be sure.
Bob, I can understand why you're parking so carefully. Of course, when you can get 80% discount on your Be Sure car insurance. But that's overdoing it, Bob.
Are you be sure? Be sure.
Yeah!
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
1,
2,
3,
4. This is how common it is to develop a mental illness. 1 out of every 4.
4,
4.
4. But there is hope. Today, most mental illnesses can be managed and treated. Visit your general doctor if you feel concerned about your thoughts and behaviors or have some difficulty dealing with some of life's issues.
If you have been diagnosed and are suffering from a mental illness, keep in mind these 4 points to help you manage your mental health.
1. Get regular checkups with your general doctor.
2. Stay on your treatment plan to prevent relapses.
3. Find a strong support group in your family and friends.
And 4. Never be afraid to ask for help and look out for the warning signs of your illness.
Remember, you are not alone. We are as close as one.
2.
3.
4.
Learn about mental health illness by going to the Mental Health Foundation's website at www.mhf-sxm.com.
Yes, as we celebrate our 200th anniversary, there are also celebrations that are going on throughout the Methodist Church. It is actually 50 years since the Methodist Church in the Caribbean and the Americas came into being. It is just over 200 years since the Haitian church became the, established place of Protestant worship. So there are a number of other celebrations that are going to be taken into effect. Recently we have a request from a heritage group in Barbados where they are also having some celebrations to come and be part of our celebrations as well. So even as we start, the celebration is taking on new life, new wings, because as you say, we have other districts in the Caribbean and the Americas, other circuits in those districts that have things to celebrate and wish to sort of join with us at this time.